Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to share my experience of hiking Mount Pilchuck, which in my opinion is one of the most rewarding hikes in Washington State. It's also one of the most popular hikes in Washington for a variety of reasons, as you'll see. So in order to beat the crowds, I left pretty darn early in the morning. I actually left the campground and headed for the trailhead before sunrise, so I apologize for some of the low light conditions you're seeing right now. This actually leads to the first part of this video, where I'd actually like to talk about getting to the trailhead before you actually start hiking. So to get to the trailhead, as you can see from this map, you're going to travel east out of Granite Falls for about 12 miles on the Mountain Loop Highway until you cross the Stillaguamish River over here near what is referred to as the Blue Bridge. Now, this is just a little ways past the Verlo Public Service Center, as you can see back here. Now, as soon as you cross the bridge, you're going to look for signs for the trailhead and turn right onto Mount Pilchuck Road. Now, you're going to spend about 7 miles on Mount Pilchuck Road, and during the 7 miles, you're actually going to gain over 2,000 feet vertical to get to the Mount Pilchuck trailhead. Now, notice also on this, on the Mount Pilchuck Road, it also has access to other popular hikes like the Lake 22 trailhead as well as the Heather Lake trailhead, both of which are, like I said, also popular. Now, while all of these hikes, the Mount Pilchuck, Lake 22, and Heather Lake, they're all popular, surprisingly, they're not very easy to access, which is what I wanted to talk about now. So about a week before the hike, I actually called the Darrington Ranger District Office to get some trail information, and I specifically asked about the conditions of the road leading up to the Mount Pilchuck trailhead. Now, I don't recall the exact adjectives the ranger used, but I remember her using terms like car destroying, giant potholes, horrible, etc., etc. Now, if you read trip reports at sites like Washington Trails Association, you'll also see similar reports. Well, I'm here to give you another set of first-hand information and give you another corroborating account. There's no point really beating around the bush. This road is horrible. It's probably the worst conditioned road I've ever had to deal with to get to a hike. Some of these potholes were multiple feet across and fairly deep. And it isn't just one or two potholes which you might be able to go around. There were several areas where it was a literal minefield of potholes that stretched across the entire road. So you can't just avoid them, you have to just plow right through in some cases. Now, because I was forewarned about this before going on the hike, I actually decided to ride my dual sport motorcycle up the trail instead of taking my van. And this actually made it pretty darn fun to actually bounce up and down a little bit on the road. That being said, while most of the vehicles going up were trucks or SUVs, I did see a couple of sedans. I think I saw, like, as I was parking my bike up in the trailhead parking lot, a Volkswagen Jetta pulled past me, and it successfully made it up the road. So I think if you go slow, you'll probably be fine. All right, so we made it to the trailhead. You see, it's actually pretty nice here. A pretty large parking lot, as you can see. The day is looking like it's going to be pretty awesome. It's a little bit before 7 a.m. Surprisingly, I'm not the first one here. So a lot of these, I mean, I just saw a guy drive in. A lot of these other cars, maybe they're just overnighters or something like that. But anyway, here's the trailhead. I snapped a picture of the map to augment my All Trails map that I already downloaded. But all right, let's get going and see how long this takes to get up here. All right, so we're about a mile in. Little streams here, a couple of wet patches on the trail, but it's kind of interesting because I don't think it's rained lately. And as you can see, there's some nice bridges that have been made here, and some of these stairs you can even see as we're coming up on them. Again, this always amazes me when you got these stairs and these other features that people have built. So thank you to the volunteers that did all this work. All right, I think we're getting pretty close. Getting near the top. Wow, look at this. Wonder what this thing was. And again, how they built it up here. That's a long way to bring some concrete. But geez, look at this. This is pretty darn perfect. Okay, we're almost there, but you know, in this rock field up near the top, it actually is kind of easy to kind of lose the trail. Like for example, here. See, clearly behind us that's the trail, but then you know here's the sign. But it looks like there's a couple of rock slides right here. And actually, I believe, look at this, we got to actually climb all the way around all this to rejoin the trail. So I don't know, that's kind of cool, kind of interesting. So again, it's a good thing, make sure you've got your hike loaded up on your Gaia GPS route or your map or whatever app you're using. All right, looks like we made it. Yeah, here's some stats. I mean, it was definitely a good hike on the way up. About an hour and 20 minutes to get up. And, you know, my heart rate was going pretty well during that time. I think I definitely met my stair climbing goal for the day. I think my watch told me I exceeded it by 20 times. Wow, look at this. This is pretty awesome. Hiking poles might have been a good idea. Or maybe next time. So you gain approximately 2,300 feet during the ascent, and at the top you reach the lookout shelter. The inside of the shelter is really nice, and it's got a lot of historical and geographical information to tell you about the area, as well as help you find landmarks that you can see from the shelter. I've heard that you can actually spend the night up here on a sort of first-come, first-served basis. And in fact, as I was hiking up, and again, remember, I left pretty darn early in the morning, and as I was going up, there were actually a few parties that were heading back down after spending the night up at the top. So it's pretty cool that you can find something like this in the U.S. where we seem to be so obsessed with liability. I mean, you look around and there's no real liability up here. You have to climb this really steep ladder to get up, and you can even walk around to the far edge where there's this platform to sit on or even walk out. And if you step out here and you don't know what you're doing, you know, you could win a Darwin Award pretty easily by falling a pretty good long way down. So after getting to the top, I now understand why this hike is so popular. You've got absolutely beautiful panoramic views of Mount Baker, Mount Rainier, the Cascades, and even the Olympics to the west. And you can also see various cities like Everett in the distance. Overall, I think this is probably one of the most beautiful, breathtaking views I've ever seen at the end of a hike. Before we head back down the trail, I wanted to show you one last thing for giggles. I'm actually experimenting with trying to conduct time lapses while hiking, and I strapped a GoPro to my chest and took a photo every 5 seconds as I hiked up. Since we're viewing this movie right now at around 30 frames per second, this time lapse I'm showing you is now effectively sped up by 150 times of real time. So if you're interested in what a certain part of the hike looked like, feel free to pause the video at any point. Again, I think the results are so-so. I mean, this isn't the most interesting time-lapse ever, but like I said, you can pause it at any moment and hopefully see what I was seeing as I hiked up the trail. All right, and it looks like we're back. Okay, so that was a pretty darn great hike. Last couple feet to get out of the trail back to the parking lot. So again, here I'll try to flash up some stats from my Garmin account of what the watch recorded. So as you can see, yeah, it was pretty much 3 miles up and then 3 miles down, kind of pretty darn close. A little less than 2 hours to go all the way up and all the way back down after, and I think I spent around 20 minutes messing around up at the peak. So it's a good time. And again, I didn't pass too many people. It definitely got a little more crowded as the morning got on, but since I got such an early start, I think that's definitely the way to go. What else? Yeah, I mean, again, it's just beautiful. The upper parts of the hike were a little bit more rocky, for sure. So I would definitely recommend doing this in hiking boots, not in tennis shoes or anything like that. There were a couple times where I stepped on a rock in a weird way, and I think if I had tennis shoes, I might have rolled my ankle. But otherwise, it's pretty good. And as you can see, let's walk around it. Yeah, you can see the lot's getting a little bit more filled up. So yeah, I think going early is the way to go. So anyway, here we are back at the bike. So I guess it's mostly just a ride back down that ugly pothole-filled road to get back. But that was it. Anyway, I think it's a great spot to leave, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if so, I also hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Surprisingly, if you scroll down a little ways and just click on that subscribe button, it really does help me continue to make these videos. And remember, the new videos come out every Monday, so I hope you'll join me at one of these future ones, and we can all learn something new together. So until I talk to you later, I think I'll sign off for now. Bye.